Hello, this time we are going to push our commits to the remote repository. So we may have made one or more commits and we want to push that to the remote repository. It might look like this, right? I have made some commits stored in my local repository, and when I push, it takes everything from up in here, all my commits, and it pushes to the remote repository on, in my case, GitHub. And that means other team members can download that with a pull command or a fetch and get access to my code. So that's how we share the code. Now there's a detail when working with multiple people, and that is you almost always need to make a pull request or pull command before you push. And well, here's the explanation for it. So let's assume this is your remote repository on GitHub, and there's a branch. Maybe there's some previous commits to this branch here, but we are at this point in time, and there are local repositories. So these represents two different team members working on the same branch here, and they have each made a checkout, meaning they take the code here and check out to their local repository so they can work on it. And they have the same starting point, but they are working on different things within the same files in the code perhaps. And here we make a commit and maybe another one along the way, and we would like to push that back up to the remote repository like this. And the question is then, is this possible? And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't, because this person here has made a commit and they decided to push to the remote repository before the top person. So the remote repository now looks like this. There was the initial version or commit, and it has been updated to match whatever was made in locally by this guy here. And there's some code here that doesn't match our starting point. So what we need to do before we can push up, we have to make a pull. So I take whatever was changed from here to here, that goes into our local workspace. So maybe there may be conflicts because you have changed the same part of the code, and you fix that, and once that is fixed, then you can make a push and update the remote repository. And at the same time, the bottom guy here, should call him something else, this person makes some more commits and they want to push again, and the question is this possible? And it isn't, because this is the latest version, right, pushed here, that their local repository knows about, but there is a newer version and we need to take whatever code is here, all the changes in this one, and we need to merge that into our local version. So first again we need to make a pull, and then we can make a push. So this happens if multiple people work on the same branch, and we will get back to branches later on, but usually you have each person would probably be working on their own branch, and then at the end they might make a pull and push, but not that often. But multiple people can collaborate on the same branch, and whenever they want to share something, they need to make this pull push show. You cannot push if the pull is needed. You cannot mess this up. IntelliJ will complain and say, okay, you need to pull first. I will see if I can show an example of that. So let's try this out in IntelliJ after we have appreciated my little joke for 2 seconds. There we go. Maybe. Okay, not the next part yet. So I have my commit. There are no changes, but I have commits, and we saw that in my local history. Right, I had a few commits. We did that in the previous video. Now I want to push that, and well, there's no commit and push, but I could probably press that button. I have some git commands up here. You can see the blue one down pointing is a pull, and that's your commit, and this one is the push. So the push will take all your commits and push to the remote repository, and then sort of reset your commits. So when if you make more commits and push again, then only the commits made after the first push will be pushed, obviously. So let's push, and I have to define a remote the first time. So where do I want to push this? I just have this under local version control, but I don't have it attached to any remote repository on GitHub. So I can open my browser, and by the way, this is a very good site for learning Git. I'm using that. So that's open. GitHub, Troels Mortensen, that's me. We go to my repository. I have a repository for Pizza Reviewer, right? So this is where I want to push my code to. There is nothing here yet. I haven't pushed anything. I can just take the URL, define the remote. Here we go. And okay, and it will push to the master branch. I can also see down here that I am on the master branch, and it's just waiting a bit, so let's see what happens. There we go. Okay, so when I set this up locally, it will create a master branch, but when I set it up in Git, you'll see that it's called main. I heard some rumors that the calling it master was not politically correct anymore, so now it's by default main, but I have a master here. So that's a bit of a conflict, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Maybe I can origin, define remote, yeah. Can I change? Not easily. Well, okay, but you can see all the commits I've made, they will be pushed to the master branch, and we push. There's some tags. Don't know what that's about. Maybe I will investigate and make a video later on, and we can see everything that will be pushed. So push, it's working. I'll pause, and there we are. It is pushed to origin/master, and we go to GitHub and check out. Okay, I can see that master has been updated. It automatically tells me that. And if let me just refresh. Okay, here's the master, and I can see all my code here. I have this plugin called Octo3, so I can actually, it's easier to investigate or get an overview of my code. I can see my code here on GitHub, main menu handler. That's great. I recently learned that I can put in dev instead of com, and that will open a VS Code editor. Hopefully it works for Java, I don't know, but this is pretty cool, so maybe that's relevant at some point. And this is just a browser built-in IDE, UI, source, console UI. I can actually type stuff here, but I don't want to do that. That was a bit of a side step. So let's see. I updated my code. It's in the master. We can see that I can make some more commits. Let's remove this. It's now fixed. I save it, and it's updating. Don't know how long that will take. Okay, so I do seem to occasionally be waiting on Git to do stuff that I don't understand why it should take so long, so maybe that's why people use the command line interface. Maybe that's quicker, I don't know. But this commit will fix the to-do. I didn't fix anything. So let's commit that, and I have a warning. That's still because of that one. Commit anyway. Okay, it's commit. And I want to remove that, and this commit will remove try catch, unneeded, try catch. I don't know, we commit that, and I need to make selection, so it's just updating. It's a bit behind. There we go. I can commit it. You can actually see your changes out here also. There, this is the gutter, and you can click on it and you can see the changes. So that's also pretty cool. And this one apparently there's a change also. So there's all kinds of built-in stuff to make it easier to navigate. Okay, we commit this. Same warning again. I should fix that at some point. We'll wait. It's committing. And that succeeded, so let's just open up GitHub again, and I Control F5, and we can see that this one should have been changed. Master, I am in the master. Refresh. Oh, I didn't push anything, did I? No commit selected. I did push. So why is it not showing me the latest? Okay, I don't know. I didn't push, but I tried to click the push and I didn't find anything. But then I made a dummy space, and now it's found 3 commits to push. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but we are pushing, and it succeeded apparently. So let's see if GitHub agrees. And okay, so this was updated a minute ago. That's good. And that looks okay. So now let's demonstrate the problem where someone else has modified the files so it doesn't match what you started with. This case where you had to pull before you pushed, right? This thing here, push, pull, pull, push. Let's try that out. So I can modify the files directly through GitHub, and I will just do that here. Edit this file. Usually I can do this. Sign up, sign in. Oh, I'm not signed in. Okay. This is... Anyway, just... Yep, so now I'm signed in, and I can edit. Alright, wonderful. I could open that dev tools, but that took some time. There we go, I commit the changes. So now my remote repository is a version further ahead than what my IntelliJ knows about. So let's try and fix something here. I will just add, what is this, console UI run public private void show main menu. Right, we will do that method. Okay. And I commit things. I can press Control K. I can go up here and commit, or I can go over here and commit, and it's just updating again all the time. Okay, I want to commit that one, and let's say add method for showing main menu. Alright, and then you can sit at home and judge my commit messages. I'll just commit and push. Or I'll commit anyway first, so it's committed. I don't want to push. I do want to push. Okay, so I want to push this, and it should reject it. So let's just see what happens. We're pushing. No horrible joke intended. Okay, so I get a push rejected. Push of the current branch master was rejected. Remote changes need to be merged before pushing. So again, the I was here. I tried to push it, but the remote repository was a later version than what I sort of knew about. So I need to make this pull first. So it's automatically pulling for me, so the merge button here will say take whatever from GitHub and try to do your best to insert it into my code without messing up. The rebase is a different option. We might get back to that. We'll merge. And okay, so it's updating. Hang on. Okay, I got the update now. It's pushing down here, and you can see that it took this line of code from GitHub and actually put it in the correct place. So Git is usually pretty smart on putting code together. So, and now this method should also be on GitHub. Let's just refresh. And there we go. So the pull push in place. And I think that's plenty about pushing. And so that's the commit and push to upload stuff and save stuff, and now we need to download and load, I guess, the fetch and the pull. First the fetch in the next video.